Alright guys, so I'm here with the white Mitsubishi, and the other day, because Ohio doesn't know when to stop snowing and being cold, it's the middle of April, and it was cold and snowing, so I turned on my heat. Now when I drove to Cleveland, the heat was fine after the thermostat replacement, but now it's messed up. It's not really putting out any good heat. So I bought a heater core right here. And the first thing I noticed upon arrival is this little mechanical, I don't know, manifold, switch, whatever you want to call it, to allow fluid to pass through. So that, I'm guessing, is my actual issue, because it's back here. Let me shine a light in here. It's back there, and I can't get that sucker to move at all. So I'm gonna tear this apart. I've already got the center console out, half the dash. I'm working on taking out the center brackets here now, but I came across something I thought to be mildly alarming. When I go in here to start getting these bolts out, let me get some light in here. And you go in here and you look, the bolts are already broken off. And then I went to my next bolt, which is here, and it's already got scuff marks on it. So it looks like somebody has already done this at some point. Maybe they replaced the heater core and didn't realize maybe the switch was going out. I might end up having to go to a junkyard. The switch could be hard to find. It's right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the heater core valve, and then right above that is a little electronic switch. Now it's supposed to activate when you don't have the car on full cold, to the best of my knowledge. So if you have it on full cold, it shuts, letting no hot water or radiator fluid come through the heater core so you get your cold air. But any other setting should open that up at least slightly and let fluid to pass through. Well, it's not doing that. So what I originally thought was a clogged heater core may actually just be this switch. But I already bought the heater core for 50 bucks, so it's going in one way or another, and I might have to go to a junkyard and tear one of these cars apart and get one of these switches and pray that it works. I'm pretty sure I'll have a hard time finding it. I've already checked fuses and everything like that, and everything's fine, everything's working. So, I mean, there's a mild chance it might be an electrical issue. I'll figure that out once I actually get that switch out. I'll put direct power to it, see if it works. But I really don't think it is. So yeah, I got about half the car torn apart right now. Seems like somebody already did this before, and we're going to keep diagnosing this problem. I'm going to get back to work here and get hopefully some more access here, see what I'm doing. But figured I'd give you guys an update as to what kind of fun I'm having today. Alright guys, I'll check in with you later. Okay guys, so turns out I'm pretty sure I don't have a heater core issue. It looks like somebody's replaced it fairly recently, or it's just in really good shape. But regardless, it's the actuator. Get some light in here. It's the actuator here that's stuck. See, because I have this other one over here to look at now. That's the closed position. This is also a closed position, but it never reaches there. I think when it's about fully open, it's about here. So that's the problem. Now there was a switch, like an actuator that goes right here, right? That little motor turns this well, the motor turns and it kind of switches this from closed to open, right? So our problem with the heater core was that it wasn't opening. Now, I can't leave well enough alone, so here's the switch. Well, I've opened it up. You can see that. You can see the motor. You can see the gears. The gears popped out when I opened up the casing, so that kind of sucks. Now, I hooked up leads to the terminals in the connector here. It's these first two. If you follow the leads on the small circuit board, you probably can't see that, but I tried hooking up to these leads and they look solid, but I wasn't getting any movement. Now, hold on here, I'm going to try to set you down and point you down, and I want to show you something. Can you guys see that? Hold on. It works. So, the heater door blend actuator, little electronic switch, does work. I put it all back together and tested it forwards and reverse, and it moves just fine. So, now we're going to pour through our electrical diagrams to see. There's a connector up here. If I can pull it back around this rod. Which does not look successful. Yeah, I still don't have much wire. But, okay, rest assured it's up here. It's just there, if you can kind of see that, that's the connector there that I'm playing with, the little white connector. There's only 2 wires, which, you know, makes sense. It's just a motor, and it's, you know, positive and neutral, and then you just reverse them for the opposite direction. So now, I'm going to pour through my electrical diagrams. I happen to get really lucky and find a book for this car at my local auto parts store in the clearance section for like $2.85 or something. So now I have the diagrams. I took a picture on my phone, and is that the one? Yeah, here's the one. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to look on the camera. Let me press the button here so I can see the viewfinder. Okay, there's 2 relays here. Okay, one's the, what is that, maximum cooling relay 1, and the other one is the maximum cooling relay 2. Each one of those feeds 1 lead. One feeds, you know, I'm sure it reverses the motor, so depending on what setting you're on or what action the motor's taking, whether it's going quote-unquote forward or quote-unquote reverse, the polarity is going to switch there. But it just looks like they each feed one leg of the motor based on whatever's going on. But also, both of those seem to be fed by the up here at the top, the maximum cooling temperature switch. And the whole relay little block for the two relays is being referred to in here as the water shut valve controller. What's the blue and red run to? I have no idea. It also throws out a blue and red wire that just goes somewhere. I don't know. Or no, that's probably maybe power into the relays. Yeah, it looks like it splits off. So that's power into the relays. And of course the whole thing's grounded. So now I gotta trace these things back, find out where they are, and figure out what's wrong. Because my switch works, but it's not getting voltage, or the switch isn't working, or something's going on here that it's not performing the action that it's designed to. So I'm going to see if I can trace this back some more. I want to get this done. I want to be driving my nice white car. So what we have here is what I already showed you earlier. This thing. So I'm looking and I'm like trying to trace this back. I looked under the hood. Where are these relays they're talking about? Well, I found them. On the underside here, this little panel here kind of sits over this, and that's where your connector is, on the back of your heater control. And that's where the down, is it here? Yeah, down here, I'm in my own light, but in this little connector here are the two wires, that blue and yellow, if you see that, and the light blue right there, are what go up and feed that switch. So I either have a problem with this switch here, because this switch, when it's on full cold, should activate the motor and throw power to those relays in here. See, there's a little circuit board. You got your power wires coming in. There's your two relays, and then they go out to that connector here, which there's some other stuff in there, but pretty sure this entire module right here just pretty much feeds that water shut-off valve for the heater core. So I either have a problem with this switch here, the actual heat temperature, hot cold switch. There's something either wrong there, or this little module is bad here. So, I mean, it's kind of good to find this out. I mean, absolute worst case scenario, I go to a pick apart and I go grab another one off of that. But I'm going to test some continuity, see if I can attempt to see if I'm getting, signal from here through to this. Obviously, I don't think I am, but I just don't know where the signals broke. So I'm going to look at this some more. But, yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, I go to a junkyard and I grab a whole nother module, and then hopefully with that I could, just replace the whole thing or something to that effect and get this fixed. But yeah, it's not actually the switch. It's not actually the heater core. It's the control for it. So, yeah, not a bad idea if you have a car to pick up one of these manuals, because you get like every freaking electrical diagram that you'll probably need. It doesn't always tell you the locations of things. Like this here, I had to track it down and figure out where it was, but it's possible. You just kind of trace stuff back. But yeah, I'm going to keep looking at this, and that's where I'm at right now. So if you have a Mitsubishi Galant where you don't really have heat, chances are, it looks like at the moment, if you just replace the heater control, it might fix your issue, assuming that you get one that works. So we'll see, and I'll give you guys an update with what else I find as I go along.